Alright everybody, welcome to my garage, and today we're going to be doing a video that I stumbled upon recently, and I figured that a lot of you would get a kick out of it. And to be honest with you, I had a lot of fun just going back and watching it myself and going over all of these tricks, because I ended up finding this video by a friend of mine, a kid that used to ride my skate park all the time. His name is Nick Ackerman. He goes by Albatross. Here's his Instagram if you guys want to go check out his riding. He's a really, really good rider. His younger brother is Colin Ackerman, who is also an amazing rider. And both of those guys have spent their whole entire lives, their BMX lives, like growing up at my parents' skate park. And when that skate park disappeared, you know, it broke everybody's heart, including my own. And it's honestly, I go back and I think about all the time that we spent there, and I go back and think about everything that has happened there, and it feels like it was a different lifetime, especially after my crash and everything. Like, it just feels like a part of me is gone, and that sucks. It's not a great feeling at all. So having this video and like having you know, the ability to remind myself of all the amazing times I've had, and also all the amazing things that I was able to accomplish there on my bike, and things I'm super proud of. And Nick ended up making this video, and it's Scotty Cranmer's best tricks ever at the Incline Club. And we're gonna watch it today, and I'm gonna go over the tricks and tell you a little bit about them, and I'll let you know which one I think, you know, if I should think they should change in order at all or anything like that. But this is gonna be a cool video, and we'll get straight into it. So let's do it right now. Number 5. 7-foot to 10-foot flare transfer. So this was actually in my Vans Illustrated part for the Vans BMX video that we did. And you can see I went from the far 7-foot and did a flare transfer over to the 10-foot and barely snuck it in. I've done that transfer before, but I never did that flare transfer before. So I just went as fast as I could and sent it, and it worked perfectly first try. So really cool trick. I think that's definitely one that could deserve to be on there. I mean, there's going to be a lot of them that you can argue back and forth, but we'll go through the rest of the list and see what happens. So number 4, the wall ride gap to mini bowl transfers. So this is plural, so there's multiple tricks in this one. And the truth is, there's a lot of stuff that's in here that you can argue could be anywhere on this list. But we'll start off with this tires to 270 over. That's pretty cool. This one right here is no joke. Wall ride up to Fuu to ice pick to pop over. So that's huge. That is no joke right there. Landing in that ice pick, I always would jump in, lock it again, make sure that I was where I needed to on the peg. But if you think about that one, I'll replay this one a couple times for you. To wall ride up it, then to go to Fuu, then to drop to ice pick, so that would set me into it right, and then to pop over into that drop. That was a big drop, so it was probably like a 6-foot quarter pipe, and the wall ride's probably at least 8 feet, so somewhere around 14 or 15 feet. So it's pretty crazy. So let's rewatch that one again. Watch how I have to pop up, make sure I clear it, but not go too far so I can land in transition. So that was from my Monster Energy video, and all 3 of these clips are pretty much from there. So this next one is arguably one of the coolest tricks I've ever done at the Incline Club. It's the 180 up and over into the wall. I love this trick. This is a trick that I talked about on the channel before, and I love rewatching it. Just full send. I had no idea if it was going to work. I had the idea, and I just tucked up, and I remember right away, as soon as I popped up over the wall, I felt it, and I was like, this is going to work. And I landed it first try on there. So very, very cool trick, and I'm glad that it made Nick's list. So, but we got another one. Here's one right here. This is a 360 tail tap to tail whip from the big part of the street course into the bowl. This is one that doesn't get a lot of eyes on it compared to all of my other videos. This is something that I filmed with Charlie Crumlish for like an ESPN video, but very, very cool. It was the only time I've ever done this one. The 360 tail tap to whip worked perfectly, and I remember the vibe of that session that night. I went there and I was like, all right, we're going to film something really good tonight, and we did a lot of stuff, a whole lot of stuff. But very, very cool clip, and I'm glad that I'm able to show it off and talk about it, because it's something that I always forgotten about. So, but now we're going to move on to number 3, and it's the Fuu Ice Pick Over, and this is arguably the craziest trick I ever did at the Incline Club. Like, I think that this is the number 1. I can't fully remember what the rest of these are, but right now that is my number 1. This was ridiculous. Like, it was one of those tricks that I did, and I was terrified. I knew I was going to have to do this trick, and it was something that needed to happen, like, and it was just perfect for it. And I remember that day I was committing to film it, like I was like scared for my life. So I think that this should be number one probably, but we'll watch the rest of them and we'll talk about why the other ones could be arguably better. I don't know, we'll see. But either way, this is the Fuu Ice Over. Yeah, you can see me up there. I was terrified, absolutely terrified. And I remember when I had to send it, like I was like, I'm doing it right now. I locked in and everything was perfect, and I fell right into the transition because that 7 foot was pretty steep. You can see that transition I'm riding up on right there. It was definitely pretty steep. So to go like 12 feet or so into a 7 foot was insane. It was terrifying, and it worked pretty much perfect. So I'm glad that was one and done, because I don't know if I would have been able to survive a second attempt on that one. But yeah, it's one of those tricks that I'm so happy that I got done, and it lives on. But Albatross doesn't think it was the craziest one. So let's see what the number 2 trick is right now. Tail up over the second box jump to step up gap. I don't even know what video this was in. Like I can't even think off the top of my head what it was in. It's a big tail up. There's no doubt about it. Like, is it hard? Very difficult. Like, I don't even know if anybody was really even sending that gap like I was, but you can see I jumped it backwards too. Like, I felt really comfortable with this setup. I mean, I rode it every single day. It was probably somewhere around 15, 16 feet. So was it the biggest gap? No, but it's an awkward gap because you have to hit a box jump really, really high and catch as much transition as possible, and you have to have a racer pump like I did to be able to push through and send it. And the tail up, yeah, tail worked pretty easily on it. And then I sent the turn down transfer back into it. So very, very cool. But I think the Fuu Ice Pick should be in there. But that leads us to this number 1 trick that is on the Albatross's list, and I remember which trick it was, and I guess we can argue that this one could be crazier than the Fuu Ice Pick Over. When it goes to risk and reward, I think that both have their ups and downs for sure, but I think that the Fuu Ice Pick Over was definitely more dangerous and scary, just because I was at a higher point. I was coming in switch into something steep like that, so if I would have hung up, if I would have cased, it would have been really, really bad. But this one, if I would have cased, it would have been really bad, but at the same time, I knew that I was going to be able to do this. Like, so either way, let's just watch it and I'll break it down. So the number 1 trick is the backflip tail up over the doubles. And this was in my Welcome to Hyper video. And yeah, that was no joke right there. I look back at it and I am so proud of this one. And you could see how high I went. Like, it's insane, because that gap right there, like, people were sending it. There's people that were jumping it. Nobody was really tricking it. And I had this idea of backflipping it, and then I sent the flip, and then I was like, you know what? I'm going to flip with this. And I want to point one thing out as we watch this one back. If you look at the deck of this ramp right there, Ricky Hoffman is on the deck, and I hadn't seen Ricky in a long time. He just randomly showed up at the skate park to ride that day. Like, I had no idea that I was filming this video or anything, and yeah, he got to witness this. And you could see Ricky, like, he had like a holy crap moment where he like nervously stands up off of his bike. Like, this is pretty funny. So rewatch this one and you'll see. Watch him. He just stands up like, whoa. It was pretty hilarious, actually. So yeah, I love Ricky. I'm so glad that he was there that day, and very, very cool, man. Such a cool trick, and yeah, this was no joke. Nobody was messing with this one, and I'm super proud that I was able to get this flip whip. And once again, this one worked first try. And as soon as I sent it and I landed it like I did, I was like, yep, that's it. I ain't doing that anymore. So very, very cool trick, and I'm honored that Albatross went and made this list. And yeah, I think that number 3 could be number 1, definitely. But, you know, everybody has their own opinion, and this is what Albatross thinks. So, yeah, we're going to leave it at that. But I hope you guys enjoyed going back in time and checking out this, Scotty Cranmer's best tricks. And I'm super proud that I was able to accomplish all these. I'm super proud that I was able to have all these at my parents' skate park, the Incline Club. I wish the skate park was still around, but we had 18 years of that skate park, and everything that has happened there, I'm super grateful for, and just glad that my parents went out and made the skate park a reality. I can't believe that they were able to pull it off, especially against all the odds that were stacked against them. So yeah, a huge thank you to my parents, and I'm sure a lot of you that are watching this that went to the Incline Club feel the same exact way. Either way, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I also have another video that I just found recently that I'm going to rewatch with my little brother, and we're going to break it down. This video is from like 2005, I believe, and it was a Fox video that we went on a tour in the East Coast, and we go to one spot in particular that I feel like doesn't get the shine that it deserves, and it's the Brooklyn Banks. So we're going to rewatch that one, and I'm going to break down some iconic riders and iconic tricks that went down, and it's going to be pretty epic. So either way, we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.